You weren't feeling well. Good evening. Welcome to the Parks and Rec Committee meeting. Today is July 1st. It is 5:30 p.m. If we could get a roll call, please, Alyssa.
Mrs. Cooper?
Here.
Mrs. Crawford?
Here.
Mr. Long is absent. To present, we have quorum.
Thank you. I will make a motion on the June 6th park meeting minutes. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
2 yeas, motion approved.
Thank you. Are there any visitors that would like to speak to the Parks and Rec Committee meeting? Thank you. We will start with our unfinished business, which is the J.R. Smith Park grant updates. Is
Yes.
that you, Alyssa?
Yes.
What
So
can you tell us?
we have some exciting news. Last week, Dee Burlinson, I think that's how you say her last name, from ODNR, she reached out to us and there was a delay in the state planned project. So that made additional funds become available. So they offered us an additional $352,822 on top of our $500,000 award. So in total, from the Land and Water Conservation Fund, we have $852,822. So free money, which is fantastic.
We've had some good news to combat some of the delays we've had. So
Yes.
it's kind of evening out.
Yeah, so that was really nice
Yeah.
to see. So then also on top of the Land and Water Conservation Fund, we also have the state capital budget, because I know, look at the last meeting, we were talking about what that money could be used towards. And packet page 4, I had included the state capital budget request description that was put together for the state capital budget. So in here, it kind of highlights what we had outlined, loosely outlined for those funds, which is the installation of new sidewalks along the south side of East Cherry Street, and where there's currently no sidewalks, and also a new sidewalk along South Morning Street, which will connect directly to East Cherry Street. Also the trail connection extension from the park to the Ohio to Erie Trail. Obviously, we can't get all the way to the trail, but we could get at least to our property line. And then we also included some new landscaping around the project area. So that'll help add to some of the landscaping that was removed initially. And then we also had it supporting the new asphalt and parking lot improvements around the Lions building as well. So that's kind of where the state capital budget funds are. With the Land and Water Conservation funds, I believe we have that to use more freely for additional items. Some that were maybe taken out or things that we would like to add. I don't know, Carla, if you wanted to add anything in there.
Only if you want me to quickly let you know where I am on the numbers for the capital budget requests. I threw together something really quick. So the sidewalks that were mentioned, we have a little over 500 linear feet for the sidewalk along East Cherry Street and the South Morning Street section. That will be around $65,000 to $75,000. Depending upon how much of the path we would extend to the Ohio to Erie Trail, it could be anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000 if we can actually go beyond our property line to get it to connect, because that's estimated at 500 linear feet. And then we had pulled out 50 to 75,000 in some of the landscaping improvements when we did some value engineering originally. So that money could be used in the 375,000 from the capital grant.
So right now, there is no sidewalk along Cherry Street where J.R. Smith is. And we're talking about putting in a sidewalk, and that would connect up to Vernon.
So right now on Cherry Street, we would go east to, I don't know what the street is to the north there.
Otis.
Is it Otis? To Otis Street, because there's a sidewalk that comes down and it would cross. Looking at the cross slope, if we were to take the sidewalk along Cherry Street all the way to the driveway, there were some issues. So we wanted to take the sidewalk to a location where they could actually cross and continue walking.
Is there a sidewalk on the north side of Cherry Street?
I don't believe so.
From Otis up to
Yeah,
partway,
looks
there's a
like
little
there's a
bit,
sidewalk on
Oh, actually,
north side.
just a small portion, I think.
it might be,
Oh,
it might be
okay.
shown on here. It's hard to see in the map that I have.
So the sidewalk we're talking about would be on the J.R. Smith side
Yes.
of Cherry Street.
That's about 340 feet, but only to Otis Street to the north.
So from where her cursor is to Otis Street
Yes.
on our side of Cherry Street.
Mhm.
So if you're walking along this side, you could cross over. Okay. Because there was issues on our side to continue it up.
Yeah, the slope along the road, it's a significant fall in that location. I'm not saying it would be impossible to get sidewalk in, and maybe with the funding, we want to look to see if there's a way to get the sidewalk all the way to the drive. But at least what we had originally looked at for an improvement on the south side was just to connect it to Otis Street.
So I have a question. I'm not sure if it's really for parks or finance or a little bit of both. But with this extra money, as well as the money that had already been slated, is there a way to hold some of it while we figure out, do we need it here or we want to put it here? Or next year, can we say, hey, we want to apply for another grant or take a little bit out of our budget for something else? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, so I would answer that this way, and I think the reason to show you what was in the capital budget request is so you could see what the legislature considered. So the scope has been defined here. I guess once we enter into an agreement with the state on it, if there's some flexibility in the scope, that's the time at which we could maybe negotiate some adjustments. But I don't know that I would say we would hold the funds. I think we will scope out, what constitutes $375,000 in additional expenses. But the other important point I want to make though is, well, and I think you referenced the additional ODNR funding. So in that, at the last meeting, you had indicated more lighting, cameras, security around there. So I just want to note that we have not lost sight of that. I think that's a source we could use to make sure that we get that stuff in place at the park as well.
So what's in the memo is what we're saying we're gonna use the money from the state capital budget.
Correct.
And now we also have additional money from ODNR.
Yes.
And we haven't totally figured out how we want to
That
spend
we have, and I
money.
think what they were alluding to is that there were some items that were, deleted from the original budget, that were maybe a little bit more interior to the site,
Mhm.
that might be able to, that we might be able to fund some additional, I think, shade structures.
Is there
a little bit
yeah,
about-
maybe this is what you were asking. Is there a deadline on when we need to use those monies?
I'm sure there will be, but we haven't gotten a grant agreement from them yet, so we'll keep you posted on how much time we've got there.
We can at least start to talk about putting it toward the lighting and cameras,
Yeah.
extra security.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you recall if there was things we left out of our original one?
So she's got the list here.
Okay. Because obviously we've already started backfilling with some of the money from the state, but
Yeah.
I know we had to pull a lot back when we saw that final number.
Mhm.
So a lot of it was some landscaping, I think some shade structures, a couple benches, structural framed canopy. Let's see. I think there was bike racks. Yeah, I think some like trash receptacles, dog waste stations, just small things that we can easily.
Mhm. That we pulled out to add up.
Mhm.
Because we already are so far along with J.R. Smith, I assume that we cannot make the splash pad bigger.
Correct.
Is that the correct
That is
assumption?
correct.
Because I wanted to, for the records, I asked. You
Good
said
question.
no.
Thank you. Asked and we said no. Yeah.
Okay, but maybe, playground equipment, is that a possibility?
That is something we discussed. We would have to reach out to see just because there is a safety zone. So each equipment has its own perimeter that you have to allow, space for just in case. So that way, well, I don't know how to explain this the best way. Just, yeah, like that safety perimeter. So you can't have like equipment overlapping. So in case someone falls or something, they're not going to hit another piece of equipment.
Sure.
So based on the space that we have, we might be able to reconfigure some, but it might be difficult. Plus, there is usually longer lead times on playground equipment. So we would have to reconfigure the space. And then also there is a chance that the new equipment wouldn't arrive at the same time. So then that's
Sure.
two separate installations.
What did we have in the plan for water fountains? Do you remember? If we had water fountains or bottle refill stations?
Shelter house.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think we had a fountain. Whether we had a water refill station, that's worth checking. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing that we talked about with the play equipment is, we have a limited amount of space for that play surface, that rubberized surface. Now, is there play equipment that we could add, such as swings, maybe not on that type of surface, but nearby? Or do we want to look at adding another surface? All things that we could consider. A little easier than extending a splash pad.
Behind engineer.
But we could add some additional shade structures over by the splash pad. I think we can extend it concrete. That'd be,
Just as a regular surface.
yeah.
Yes.
Something that Delaware has over in their dinosaur splash pad, and I don't know, you've probably been over there
Yeah,
with
I've
your
been there.
kids. I haven't been over there in a long time, but they have like, I don't know if it's built in, but they have like provided loungers over there. I don't know if that's something we could look into. It's kind of not, I mean, it's super nice because you don't have to bring a chair, like they're provided for you and they have little tables and stuff. That's just an idea. I don't know if it would work with our space or not, but it was really nice in Delaware. And I still like the idea of looking into security cameras. Extra $300,000. How are you spending it?
Some ways. I'm definitely all for like security cameras, and I know that's not the fun stuff, but we want to protect people that are there, so, yeah. Maybe a guard.
I think, what else did I say, Alyssa, in that email? I think I said,
Security cameras, drinking fountain / refillable water station, shade structure / shade trees, signage, park rules, entrance / gateway feature, and lighting in the parking lot.
okay, yeah, I was thinking like some sort of gateway feature, or I know we're already doing a sign thing, but if we needed money for a sign or park rules or something like that, I thought this is a nice area in Sunbury, and it would be nice to have like a nice sign or an entryway feature or just something to make it special, honoring J.R. Smith or Sunbury in general. And those are my thoughts. And a bigger splash pad. Can we fit a pool over there, guys? A rec center? No?
Oh, boy.
All right. We'll save that for a JRD meeting. Okay, anything else with the update, Alyssa?
That was all I had, if anybody.
Keep those emails with the extra money coming.
That was
Right?
She just randomly called out of the blue, and I was like, "Oh, that's great surprise on it."
Thank you very much. Anything else J.R. Smith related? Okay. Moving on to new business, we have the 4th of July parade and fireworks coming up this weekend.
Yeah, so this is mostly informational at this point because we actually don't have an event occurring on the square that passes the threshold test. Obviously, we have an event going by the square, so with that being the parade, and then the evening event is occurring down at the middle school. But so just as a refresher, So this weekend's activities kick off actually on Friday night with Movies on the Square, but Movies on the Square is actually not going to happen in Sunbury, it'll happen in Galena. So that's a great way to kind of, the America 250 committee thought that that might be a better way of also kind of sharing some of the responsibilities with staff and support responsibilities. So
And that'll give us the opportunity to start closing our parking.
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Two birds.
Which we will be doing. Yes. So that'll happen on Friday evening. And then, yes, so the parade kicks off at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, the 4th. Same location, same parade route. So for those who don't know, steps off at the middle school, heads north on South Columbus Street or South Old 3C, goes by the square, turns and heads back on State Route 37 to the school. Last I checked, and we'll have a safety meeting with the organizers and obviously the safety forces. That's scheduled for tomorrow, I think 1 o'clock.
Yep.
We've got that call, or we've got that a virtual meeting set up with them. Primarily, we were just going to touch base to make sure that we were all on the same page with respect to weather and whether or not that might affect the event. I don't think rain is going to be the issue, but heat certainly is going to be an issue that we'll definitely be talking a little bit more about. So, but anyway, so if there are any other issues that come up as a result of that, I'll certainly brief you on what's going on. Then after the parade ends, the downtown kind of clears out. At that point, we reconvene this year at 6 o'clock at the middle school as opposed to 4 o'clock last year. So
Can you repeat that?
it'll start at 6 o'clock on
Okay.
Saturday, the 4th. So the fireworks gathering. So it'll be the kids zone. There'll be food trucks there, and I don't know what else will be there, but there'll be other things.
A DJ.
Yeah, DJ. That's right. That's right. So it's similar to what they've
That
done in the
starts at
past.
6.
That starts at 6. So kind of a little bit of a family event that happens prior to that. So yeah, if people want to gather, they certainly can do that. The fireworks will be set off in the same location that they've been in the past. And I know there was some discussion about maybe moving it to a slightly different location on the middle school grounds. But after some discussion, realized that we just need to go back to the current location. So what shouldn't change, any parking patterns on the square or on the school grounds from what's happened in the past. It also shouldn't alter any exit process, at least from the police department's perspective. So for whatever that's worth. Beyond that, I don't know, anything else that you'd like to know?
Our services department, do we have guys that work that day and they help out with the parade? And then do they take a break and then do they help in the evening or do they just help in the morning?
So we haven't made it a mandatory work day for the service team or the wastewater team. But for the last maybe 3 years, they volunteered, some members of their staff have volunteered to come in and help with parade principally. And mostly what they do is park the city vehicles, the large vehicles at the intersections for additional security purposes. So they say here, they observe that, they're basically on call for about a 3-hour window of time. And then they leave. It's not often that they will come back in the evening. We have had some where we've had to move the digital signs after the parade down to the school grounds. So there are some logistics that they have to perform after the parade ends. But for the most part, they've not been here in the evening, and I don't think they are going to be.
I think this is just
Yeah.
a parade.
And both the street and the service and the sewer team have provided staff for this purpose. Again, not a mandatory day. These are, I'd say, volunteer. I mean, they're paid for their time, but they're volunteering to come
Or
in.
volunteering? And then our police department, is that a day that they have extra
Yeah, so that is,
police?
that is a mandatory work day for the entire police department. Again, there are some people who are off for a variety of reasons, but yeah, you start with the assumption that everybody is on call to support the parade. So they'll have the officers there to support the parade, but they'll also have to have officers that are on patrol, for any other incidents that might be happening during that period of time. And then on call, or not on call, but the reason the entire staff needs to be there is because basically once that first group sort of rolls off, basically the other shifts are covered by people that weren't there at the parade, and that basically consumes the entire staff. So that's the way they've operated in the past.
So it's a full day for the Sunbury staff.
It is a full day.
Okay. And that's without anything going on the square in the middle of the day. We are still full day for our staff. Okay. Thank you. And you'll work on it not being so hot.
I don't know if I can do that. I'll work on it. Yes, I will work on it.
What you can do, Daryl, put all that effort into it.
There we go. I got it.
Okay. I've seen.
Oh, actually, yeah, maybe one other thing there. We do have the updated public parking map in the packet as well.
For the parade.
13. Yeah, just so you can, so people will know that J.R. Smith Park is closed this year to parking, which has been,
Oh, I have heard people say that they normally go see their fireworks there.
yeah.
So I have had a couple
Yeah.
people mention that. So we'll put that out on social media.
Yeah, we can get that out tomorrow. And then, as you can see on Columbus and East Cherry Street, the closures here are consistent with what we did the last year with the parade. So I think that worked
Then
out.
where did you say they park the services trucks at? For
The
the
police department will direct them, have they identified?
Oh, okay, where they feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's looking at this.
yeah, it is a good thing you got that. South Old 3C in Jackson, you know where that is? Oh, that's down near the school. Granville and Morning, Cherry and Columbus, East Granville and Letts. Looks like that's where the,
This one
Vehicles.
seems wrong.
yeah, we got.
That shouldn't be Jackson.
That may not be right. Okay. Yeah, but the have the officer,
Squeeze that which.
yeah, okay. I was just wondering if the sergeant on duty was on this list. It's not on that list, so.
I believe this
Um,
was from,
But, you know, the deputy chief will be here, of course, during the parade. And then the other two sergeants will cover the other shifts. Certainly one of those, the evening shift, the sergeant's pretty active in terms of being down in and around the school grounds. You know, they're definitely active at the end of that evening, helping with the traffic. So,
Might be too hot to walk. I'm gonna miss it this year. No, I mean for the fireworks. It might be too hot to walk for fireworks.
Don't say that.
It'll be so hot. Okay, moving on to new park signage. We've been talking about this for a very long time. It hasn't been on our agenda yet though, so I'm taking that as a good sign. No pun intended.
well, thank you.
Get it?
So I'll start and have Alyssa jump in as well. So Alyssa and I have been working with this company, Eclipse Creative, on some design options for entry signs to the city, as well as signs for our parks
Mhm.
and ultimately signs for the city buildings. So what you're seeing are some options for the park, not the entry and what have you. We will take the entry sign options to the services committee next month. So the first one just kind of shows you what I think we were envisioning in terms of how it gets mounted. There are other options. It could be a single pole option, but I think we thought that the double pole option was better. Packet page is that on
14.
14. So 14. But again, there's nothing decided here yet. I mean, we are looking for your input on what you like. So, but maybe if you turn to packet page 16, you can see some slight variations then on the sign itself, not only in the color scheme, but also kind of in the kind of the way the top of the sign looks, how the pergola is sort of positioned on the sign.
On page 15, is there a difference in top and bottom and left and right?
Is top and bottom and left and right.
This is
am I
this is
looking
the
at-
eye test. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, some color differentiation. Yep, the bordering. is
Okay,
different.
that's it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see, there's a line, okay.
I was looking for it too.
So the top left is like, it's not a green border and the rest have green borders.
Yes.
Okay. And they're a little bit different than page 16.
I'd be curious to see what the design on 15 looks like on the two posts.
Okay.
Cause it looks less wide to you.
Well, I just, without looking at this, I preferred the second design, but now seeing it on the polls, I'm like, oh, well, this might actually be nicer. But
So
I don't know.
Actually, I think the other thing here is that the example shows City of Sunbury and then it says City Park signs. I think that would be the park name
Sure.
Yeah.
under.
Sure.
So, but,
How do,
the park would be on top, City of Sunbury.
would this,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
what was included in the project of signs? The municipal building, the parks? And then was there more or was it
And then
mostly?
the entry sign. So basically, as you come into the city, right now they've got that burgundy
Sure.
sort of.
So I don't know that I care one way or the other about the design, but I would like it to, the paint or the material to be reflective at night so we can see it. Mr. Martin had talked about that before. When you come into town now, you see Mayor Joe St. John and you don't see anything above it. So I would like more consistency with that.
Mhm.
Do you have a material that you're thinking? I'm assuming it's not wood. It looks like wood on here, but I'm assuming it's not. You're something that's weather resistant and wind resistant.
Yeah. Maybe we should have brought the entry level signs because the entry signs have brick elements to them. So there is a way to kind of bring the brick of the square into these entry signs. Maybe you can pull one up. I think what we're trying to get though is some sort of consistency in the sort of the center of the sign itself. And then kind of how you finish it out would vary a little bit. And to that end, that's probably why we haven't really focused on the material yet or gotten the pricing. I think we're just really interested in
See what you're saying?
if there's a shape that you like.
Yeah, I'd be interested in the services committee's opinion too. I think I like page 15 because you're putting the cupola up and it seems like you have a little home for that cupola. And it seems like, in my opinion, on page 16, you kind of just threw the cupola in there. So I think I like 15. But I would be interested in what the services committee, I'd be interested in your opinion and Jake's opinion as well.
I think one of the things we were trying to also get at was, long-term maintenance and whether or not, there was an option, I think, where it was sticking up over the sign. I think we obviously rejected those options. So these are more embedded in the sign.
And that would,
But yeah, we definitely need to talk about that too. The other thing that I told the group I wanted, there's an example.
okay.
I mean, what the entry sign might look like. Again, not that we haven't landed on it.
Do you have an example of that with the shape of page 15? With the brick?
Well, we don't.
No,
Because
okay.
I don't think we were envisioning.
That,
I guess we don't have that one, come to think of it. Yeah.
you had, what was underneath those pictures? Cause it looked like maybe there was one with the two poles with the page 15. Oh no, it was on a building. Okay. Yeah. I like the brick with the green background. Or I think I like the green and this is not, I don't have a designer eye or a big preference, but I like the green. I think I do prefer the circle at the top, but if that's not possible for the brick, that's okay. Do you like that brick?
I like that.
That would be like coming into the city,
Yeah,
not the municipal building.
no.
Yeah.
Those would be at the major entrance.
And you don't even have a mayor on here. I think that's okay. Is that what you were envisioning? I think that's fine. The mayor could come and go every 4 years, so I like this.
And now that I see this, I don't necessarily like the just for design effect, the little interior line.
You prefer the page 15?
No, I don't think. Well, yeah, I just think it's too much. I don't know, that just is so clean looking. And thinking about the maintenance, and this kind of looks like it's three-dimensional is not the word I'm looking for, but like it's gonna be annoying getting in there and cleaning in between, this and this.
I think
That
that
just doesn't
is
seem
page
necessary.
16 though.
Right, I don't like that. Is what I'm
It's
saying.
on both.
Right, can we just
Oh, like
take
make
it out?
it
Just make it,
curvier maybe or
or
something.
just take out this extra, what do you call that? Frame?
Design.
Yeah, it's not the exterior frame, but like there's an interior, like an outline, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I understand what you got. Yep.
These are just images that you guys have come up with because we haven't really talked to a sign company.
Well, the sign company helped us.
Oh,
on this
okay.
one. I mean, we had looked at a variety of shapes and yeah, ways to kind of put the words on there, whatever. But when, I think we sort of thought, okay, these are at least enough to now start to get some feedback on. I think the other thing about this, and maybe Nancy, you were getting at that, is that there's a reason that the letters and the pergola stick out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because actually that's longer term. They have longer, it's more durable that way,
Okay.
because you don't have the water sitting on top of the letters.
Okay,
If it goes down, it runs down the backside of it and away from the.
Sure.
So.
and I don't know, I'm looking at a.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like the front facade of it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm talking about
That-
this little line that goes around it. To me, it just seems unnecessary, and we don't have it there. And I like the look, it's
Okay.
just very clean, but at the same time, that's enclosed in bricks, and this is
Sits
gonna be.
above.
Right.
It might
The
be.
dimensions of that one is a little, like that
They don't
cupola
believe
is
it.
pretty big
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah, I
that
think
was
that's-
to scale, but that's a little big maybe.
Yeah, and
We
we can.
established, it's
We
like, you
can
can't even read it.
But yeah, it doesn't feel proportional.
Yeah,
in that.
but in general, I really
Yes.
like it.
Yeah, and these wouldn't go in every road where you're entering the city. Right now, I think when we did, right, I thought there were, I don't know, 3, and somebody told me there were, I don't know, 6 or something like that. And I have since found all of them, and you're right, there's a bigger number than I thought. The boundary of the city of Sunbury is continuing to change a little bit. The thought
Yeah.
was we would start in areas where the boundary is fixed. Like coming from the south, that's what this image is. I think this is south from, State Route 3. That.
Galena
boundary
and
is essentially-
Sunbury.
That boundary is essentially set and not going to change. So maybe that's a place to start, with the installation.
And then are you considering the brick on the ground as well with,
Yeah, kind of the whole thing
yeah,
as an entry. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, that's a much more substantial sign.
What does something like that cost?
Well, we haven't gotten the pricing yet, and that's the other thing I have told the design team is that, I don't want something that's so custom that it costs a fortune. Not only a fortune to, manufacture and install, but to maintain as well. So that's the other balancing that we're trying to balance a little bit. But we don't have pricing information yet. I think, again, we'll go back and get that once we've got a little bit more guidance from you and the services committee. And
Were you talking to a company local or did you
So-
find a company in the county or how'd you do that?
So we did an RFP RFQ, I guess, about a year ago, probably, looking for sign companies that could design and fabricate the signs. That got to be a little bit complicated, but this is also the same firm that we use that has done the interior signage in the municipal building. So that was
Familiar with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like these for entry signs with the right proportions, but I think they look sharp and I think they look real nice, especially if we're gonna compare them to what we have now. It'd be a big improvement, even if we just do a few to start with. I mean, we don't need 6 of them, but in those entryways, I mean, now I wanna see something for J.R. Smith, like a entryway, right? That's what I was curious about, how much they cost. Okay.
So
yeah,
that
those
might
are
be
great.
also some, so I think what I heard you say is you like, again, packet page 15, so that's the one that's.
That's what I do, but maybe without the
Yeah.
interior.
Without the
Do you have a
interior.
preference of the circle versus?
No,
Balloon.
I was going with this as well, but this is terrible. Now that I'm seeing the entire, I just took like a look at the entire thing. Look how the top is. It looks like page 6.
I know, that's why I asked them if they had one with the page 15.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably a bit more expensive to design, but if they could,
I mean, I'm sure
if
you
they
could,
could do that and make it look like this and have the cupola and everything, then yeah, that's the one.
or you could, I mean, I'm not against having that version for the entry signs and then having the signs.
Yeah,
If
that's
that's-
what I was gonna ask.
yeah,
If you
that-
thought that,
No, I think that's
I
fine.
don't think anybody's gonna drive through Sunbury and say, oh, the signs don't look exactly the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, and all the entry ones would look the
Yes.
same, then the parks
The
ones
parks
would
will be a
So
little,
you said parks, entryways, and then the municipal building?
well, city building, so this building probably needs a sign on it. You know, the municipal building, police has a sign on it at the moment. We'll have to think about whether.
Yeah, there's not a ton of room over there with
Yeah.
their front parking lot.
But yeah, I mean, you know, sanitary, you know, the sewer department doesn't really have a sign, or the service team doesn't really have a sign. I mean, so just the municipal buildings, we do need to get some
Okay,
signage on those.
yeah. Okay, so sounds like we would like to see if it's possible to see a city sign made with the image of 15 without the interior part with 2 poles.
With the green background and the white letters.
I think the green, I feel like, Daryl, we talked about this a long time ago because Berkshire has signs
Yeah,
and they're white, I
Yeah.
think, and I did not care for them because I
Yeah,
found them
okay.
I found them difficult to read.
yep. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you for showing these to us. This is, you said you put this RFQ out, I mean, over a year ago, so this has been,
Oh, wow.
so that's good, things come to those who wait. It takes a while sometimes. Okay. Moving on then to a park or tree update. Looks like maybe packet page 18.
Yeah, so this is just our regularly scheduled monthly parks update. Again, just overview of our parks. Evening Street Park, as a reminder, City North Church has their service day coming up on Sunday, July 12th. They've been in contact with Jake. They'll be painting the Fallen Heroes Memorial Bridge, doing cleanup along Prairie Run, and I believe also painting a bridge out at Freedom Park as well. General Rosecrans invasive species management for 2026 is complete. This has been a multi-year effort, so I'm assuming there will be another round next year and probably the year after that as well. J.R. Smith Park, we updated previously in the meeting, but these photos are also from today. As you can see, construction is very active and demolition is 90% complete, so
Wow.
I don't know.
are we still on schedule then for?
On the new schedule, the updated schedule, I would say yes, substantial completion, hopefully end of October.
Old Orchard Park. So I also included our original management plan that Aaron put together, and that is starting on packet page 28. So Jake, Aaron, and I, we went out to the park yesterday to discuss management strategies. In the photos, you can see the invasive species are just taking over the trees, and it's just, they're growing wild, so you can't even really see the trees at this point. Aaron will be back in front of the committee on August 1st to walk through a plan. He also met with Preservation Parks to kind of get their feedback and input on kind of which next steps we should take. And we will also be reaching out to Delaware County Soil and Water Conservation District, since Prairie Run Creek is part of Old Orchard Park. So initially, we had just focused on that interior area where Johnny is, but now we are looking at expanding the scope to all those outside areas as well on the opposite side of the trail. There's just a lot of invasive species. The opportunity to make this a really beautiful and active park. So the initial thought, the interior area where Johnny is, having that more of the aesthetic part of the park. So adding more apple trees, clearing out the invasives, adding benches there, maybe some lighting for Johnny. So that would be the more focal point. And the area on the opposite side of the trail, that would be the more environmentally, what's the word? Environmental part, natural part. Since it's along the creek and you need that, I think it's a riparian barrier. So keeping that more natural looking while also removing the invasive species and bringing back more native plants into that area as well. So that will take a lot more time and effort. So we're probably looking at multiple phases, but we have a couple more people we want to meet with, get their input, and then Aaron will have a presentation on that as well. So he has really been spearheading this, which has been awesome. So more to look forward to with Old Orchard Park.
It'd be exciting if we have like apple trees growing apples in there, and I don't know, I picture the kids going in and making a day of it and talking about Johnny Appleseed and picking apples. And
that's the vision for the interior part. So there's a lot of overgrown invasive species in there. So the thought is once we get all those out, we want to start planting more apple trees and then just maybe some native bushes and stuff. But the primary focus would be some additional apple trees for over there.
I think we've talked about this before, taking out the invasive species, is that something that our services team can do with Mr. Noblert's advice? So we wouldn't necessarily have to hire that out. Our team could do that.
So the plan as of right now is to do it all in-house.
Okay. Obviously, I'm thinking it's gonna cost money to buy apple trees, so we can save money on the taking out the invasive species and planting them.
Yeah, Jake is confident that him and his team, they'll be able to handle the invasive species, so.
Okay.
So far, all the invasive species removals have been done in-house, as well as with Aaron Noblet. Reservoir Park, so the Terry Hummel Memorial Fishing Derby was on June 6th, and I believe that event was a success. Also on the slide, we have the reservoir distance sign. This is one that Jake put together, so as soon as we get approval or any feedback, we can go ahead and get this installed.
Did we already put up a sign that was the distance, or is that what we're talking about?
We haven't installed it yet. It was discussed last meeting, and this is what Jake had prepared. So, and I told him before we go ahead and install it, we wanted to get the committee's feedback.
is this, go ahead. I'm curious if this, 0.45 miles and 0.58, is that the distance around, like, so we've got almost a half around 1 and a little over a half around 2. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna point out. I think, so Cindy, they do have a mileage number at the bottom, and maybe it's just not big enough. Maybe we could make that a little more.
Well, I was just confused because I thought we already put a sign up there, but was that? I thought we were talking about this, but also talking about like the rules and the hours and stuff, did we put it, I thought we did something.
We did last year put up a new rules,
Okay,
sign.
so this is something new.
Yeah.
But, so, my question is,
To you.
then, since we're talking about signs, do we just include that with our signs? Or do we
Oh.
have Jake do a separate sign?
I was envisioning this being a separate sign inside the reservoirs and then, but Reservoir Park would obviously get the big sign probably
Okay.
out by the gates near the parking lot as well. So this would just be one that our services team could do, and then the other ones would be from the sign company.
They have the ability to make a sign like this?
I'm,
Our team?
yeah,
Well, I mean, they'd have to.
I'm not sure where they
break it
come
out.
from, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they don't
He's
make
just
signs.
taking the responsibility for the sign.
So that is one of the things we talked about with the sign company is whether or not the parks should have maybe a space on them underneath if there was a specific amenity that we wanted to call out. So at the end of the day, we ended up, you know, the options you see are the more streamlined versions that didn't have it. But for example, if you had Freedom Park, City of Sunbury, you might also say Kinslow Golf Disc Course or something under, or disc golf course underneath it. So, I mean, maybe that's something else to think a little bit about when we, and so maybe if we did that, the Reservoir Park, you know, then would have, you know, maybe a distance. I mean, that might be one thing or one amenity you could add to it, but it also has a fishing dock. So that might be the thing you'd want to call. I think that was our point. We ended up thinking, oh gosh, how are you gonna, not everything's got an amenity.
Is there, it probably has something to do with the material, but is there a way to hang at the bottom or have a couple of hooks at the bottom of each park entrance sign so that we could add an amenity or voted best park and so, you know, whatever it is, and
Yeah.
add things each year or change it out? Is that an option?
Similar to the state championship winning teams.
Yeah.
But we just add them. That's something new.
Like, you know, we could say home, Freedom could next year say home of the hot chicken
Wings.
Yeah.
wings. Yeah, you know, I don't know, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, that's a good idea to think about.
I mean, one thing to maybe think about though, those signs kind of at the bottom, I mean, you know, wind and whatever kind of affects that stuff. I just don't know how durable
Okay.
that might be long term. And particularly if you're adding more than one amenity. to
Sure.
it.
Have we had a problem with the ones we have now? With the state, with the different state champions?
But those are secure. To me, they're bolted in on both ends into the sign. I was thinking if you had the clips and you're just
Yeah.
sort of dangling underneath it, you know, they're kind of more subject to the wind.
I think we could think about some way that we could, it wouldn't be finite and we could add to them, whether that's, however we figure that out. That's something we could think about though.
All right, so maybe when we circle back with the sign company, we can ask them about.
So,
I think, because one of the other options I think they showed us was where you have the name of the park, but you also have an image of the park too. And the image, you know, might point out that, you know, disc golf course was kind of in this back corner, open field or something for Freedom, whatever. Again, those can get a little dated because the park changes over time. And that was another reason to maybe just not do it, but
If there's a way to maybe in the posts themselves have little slots that you know, just a more durable way to highlight the park itself, whether it's 1, 2, or however many, even if we are changing it out periodically. But something that will, you know, stay in there, not that somebody can come along and just,
yeah, okay.
that might be more durable than the hooks.
Yes.
and the sign company may have suggestions
Yeah.
too for removable. What's below the blue circles? Is that just like a design with a star in it? I can't really, I don't know that that part
think
is
so.
necessary. Cause it's getting a little busy.
Yeah, we can remove that.
I think I would remove that, cause I don't really, it's not like symmetrical or anything, like I don't
Does it say something in that?
know.
star?
Gee, what page are you on?
23.
No, it doesn't say anything.
Okay.
But maybe what we should do on this is again, let's go back to the sign company and figure out if you wanted to call out an amenity at the park, what might that look like? And yeah.
Let's not duplicate efforts. Okay, but tell them thank you. Thank you for listening. Pause.
Next, the Sunbury Memorial Park. Between May and June, we had 8 burials. Town Square, the second Saturday market occurred on June 13th and was a huge success. We also had the Sunbury Pride event that was on June 27th, which was also a great success. Our monthly tree updates, I kind of just threw them all on one slide. Street tree pruning for Fairland and Woodchuck Drive are scheduled after they're done flowering. The red oak on the northeast corner of the square was treated and fertilized via soil injection. The large pin oak on the southeast corner of the square has responded well to the fall micronutrient trunk injections and is recovering. Apparently, this is the time of year when treatment results can be evaluated. This is from Aaron, so and they are currently evaluating 2 street trees at 34 North Vernon. So Aaron has identified them as invasive flowering pears. So next step is to consult with Jake and see how we want to proceed forward. Then that is the end of those updates, but I did throw in a surprise at the very end. So on packet page 37, this is our brand new trails and sidewalks map that our intern Vivian put together. She is our GIS intern for the summer, so looks like the background didn't come through as great, but this, let me see if I can find.
She is looking for feedback.
Oh, okay. I was like, where, so I was thinking you could label these if they have a name, but I do see Ohio to Erie.
And then on the screen, you can see the background a lot better. It didn't print out quite the best.
Okay.
We thought it might get a little too busy with labeling every single trail. I had told her to just kind of keep it simple with just the multi-use path and then just labeling the Ohio to Erie Trail. And then we also included the sidewalks since there's a lot of gaps with the trails and they don't all connect. That way, my thought was they can jump from trail to sidewalk to get from point A to point B if needed.
And then as far as the future trails, this is based on the plans that have been approved. Is that what she was working from? Do you know?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so those are imminent. We will be installing those sidewalks and those paths. Anything that would be conceptual, we did not include. We wanted to make sure that the map showed exactly what we currently have and what we are in the process of planning as part of either a private development or even the 37 widening project.
Okay. I would like to look at this.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
a bit and then come back with feedback. Absolutely. But I appreciate it, and I know we've talked about a map of the trails for a while, so I appreciate these interns and the work that they're doing.
Yeah, this map, I was so excited when she showed it to me. I was like, this is exactly what I envisioned.
I'm so happy.
I love it.
Okay, looks like our next meeting is August 5th. Anything else for the Parks meeting? Parks Committee? Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
2 yeas, we are adjourned.